Hi, this is Lakshmi Chaudhry, the host of Splainer's news show titled The Big Q. In each episode, we'll take up one big question and look for answers. We don't promise great revelations, but hopefully we'll understand the world a little bit better. And most importantly, have a good laugh. We promise zero outraging and rants. So today's big question, can Kamala win? Can she defeat the very stable genius that is Donald Trump? And come November, will she inspire 1,000 elegies for hillbillies like J.D. Vance and make the Chennai Mammies delirious with joy? Well, politics is full of surprises, but one thing is certain. The 2024 election will be the first to be decided by who can throw a better party. Excellent reels and edits included. Now that's great for TikTok, but is it any good for democracy? So we're going to start with the backstory. Back in 1964, Donald Harris and Shyamala Gopalan, both PhD students at Berkeley, had a baby girl named Kamala. Her parents met as members of the Afro-American Association, which went on to help establish Black Studies, the holiday of Kwanzaa, and, wait for it, the Black Panther Party. Yup, the party of Malcolm X. But like all ungrateful kids, Kamala went in the exact opposite direction as her radical parents. She became the District Attorney of San Francisco, Attorney General of California, and earned herself the nickname Cop Mala for putting black people in jail. Sad. Hey, Harris has stayed true to her mom's groundbreaking legacy. Shyamala was at UC Berkeley back in 1958 when good Indian girls were getting home science degrees, which, as you know, is only slightly more useful than a BA from WhatsApp University. In other words, she broke every rule in the Tamram book. And yet Shyamala, Kamala, and her sister Maya were embraced by the Gopalan Khandan. Forget the American dream. Kamala has already achieved the great Indian dream, the unconditional love of the family. No strings attached. By the way, her quote-unquote native is a tiny village in TN called Tulisendrapuram. We can't wait for Anderson Cooper to try and say that. I mean, Americans need lessons to just pronounce her name. You know who loves saying Harris's name? Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris gets in, and by the way, there are numerous ways of saying her name. They were explaining to me, you can say Kamala, you can say Kamala. I said, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what I say. I couldn't care less. If I mispronounce it or not, I couldn't care less.
As he points out, there are a lot of ways to say her name, kind of like the goddess. Yeah, you can say Kamala, you can say Kamala, or you can say...
It's pronounced Kamala. It rhymes with Kamala. It is Camila Cabello. Bitch is Kamala. The name is Kamala. Jamala. And if you're scared, then you better call your mama.
Well, if the goddess can have 1,000 names, why not Kamala Devi Harris? In any case, the Donalds can't even pronounce the name of God.
From Suchin Tendolkar.
But jokes apart, the biggest obstacle on Harris's road to the White House, oddly enough, is her name. Let me explain why. Now, no Democratic candidate can win the White House without sweeping the black vote. Scoring a tick-tock majority is not good enough. Back in 2020, when Harris first ran for the Democratic nomination, black Americans picked Joe Biden over her, the really old white guy. Some of them even said Kamala feels like an outsider. It's like she's not one of us. It was bad. Harris at the time said, I feel like my blackness is always on trial. But here's the funny bit. Joe Biden picked Harris as his running mate because she's black. This is what his closest advisor, the former Senator Harry Reid, said. I think he came to the conclusion that he should pick a black woman. They are our most loyal voters. And I think that the black women of America deserve a black vice presidential candidate. Ooh, those lucky, lucky black women. Can you get more patronizing than that? I think not. Now here's the really, really funny part. Another old white guy is now attacking her for not being black enough.
Because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that
I think
she is...
somebody should look into that too when you ask, continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
Now, before you roll your eyes, Donald has receipts. Soon after that interview, he tweeted out a photo of Kamala Akka with her Besan Nagar clan wearing a sari. As my 100% Tamil granny would say, Poda rascal. Happily for the Dems, Trump seems to have scored a self-goal. Unfazed by the Tata party picks, black voters have fully embraced Harris, who's also dialed up the black side of her family history. She's making her campaign stops at black barber shops, not desi grocery stores. And why not? 44,000 black women raised $1.6 million for her in just 3 hours over a Zoom call. Soon enough, we had black men for Kamala, white women for Kamala, and, wait for it, white dudes for Kamala. Please note there are no Indian dudes for Kamala. If and when the Lotus blooms in America, we then take credit for it, like all good uncles. Kind of like this guy. When Biden first stepped down, Democrats were desperately trying to figure out how not to nominate Kamala Harris. How do you get around a brown female VP to somehow pick a suitable white boy? If the path to picking a new Dem candidate were a Google map, it would look something like this. When the very unpopular Harris turned out to be the nominee, it was as unexpected as the Dr. Doom reveal. Black people were like, a second black candidate in the same century. Really? As for white people, well, they were more like this guy at the Comic-Con. As for us Indians, we were way too busy with other pressing matters, like trying to master the Vicky Kaushal hook step. Then, the memes happened. Boring Kamala became Brat. This time around, her supporters came shooting out the block armed with the ultimate weapon, Gen Z pyar. After being invisible for 4 long years, America was reintroduced to Harris as a happy meme. There she is, dancing and belly laughing like a zanned out auntie. Or Vicky Kaushal. A quote-unquote 365 party girl boss sounds pretty good after 8 years of grumpy old men. Who cares what Kamala will do? It's all about how she makes you feel. And she feels mighty good. Democrats know what Americans really want from their leaders today is an excellent party. I mean, the state roll call at the convention looked like this.
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala.
Now, you can't beat that by claiming to be hotter than Kamala.
But I say that I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better. Much better. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Let's be real. Everything about Harris is a bit too un-American. Both her parents were immigrants and not one of them was white. No surprise that Kamala picked a very safe, very white running mate. Tim Walz of Minnesota, who's brimming with regular guy charm. Walz makes everybody happy on the left, right, and center of the Democratic Party, and that's his only qualification for the job. Walz exudes that middle America aesthetic. Think of it as political cottagecore, necessary to counter the far too exotic Kamala. Besides, who can hate on grandpa who doles out free meals to kids? And fix your car. The Democrats have turned themselves and Kamala into white bread, flag-waving patriots, which used to be a right-wing superpower. Oh, Dems, they're just like us, with crappy cars and kids who call their dad Dougie. Between the Harris and Walz Parivar, the Dem convention looked like an extended home movie. And it's just driving Republicans crazy.
Kamala Harris will never be my president!
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most memeable of them all? That's what the US election has become, a battle of social media clips and images. Billionaire Mark Cuban says this election will be decided by social media algorithms and the stories they tell. All you need are edits to sell the candidate, rack up hundreds of millions of views while entertaining the masses.
Who's gonna tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those black jobs, those black jobs.
Equally effective in this election, sound bites that frame someone as a loser. J.D. Vance became the first Neta in the world to endure a sex scandal over totally made-up allegations that he fucked a couch.
I fucked a couch. Fuck that couch good. You know what I'm talking about. Come on, baby, hey, hey, let your stuff it out.
Democrats have figured out a very important truth. You can't fact-check a meme. They don't need to be true. They just need to be funny. One viral edit will spawn countless others, each looking to grab attention. And before you know it, someone's political career has become a punchline. All because of a 16-year-old with a laptop. But Kamala isn't taking on JD. She's going up against the emperor of memes, the man who knows the pulse of the people and has his ear to the ground. No, not that year. That's the one. Seriously though, Trump has captured and held the public's attention for decades. His supporters have successfully spun his every appalling flaw into a triumph of machismo. The negative stuff, sexism, racism, felony counts, doesn't make Trump unelectable. It makes him a super bad superhero. The normal rules of conduct don't apply to this man. As one commentator says, Donald Trump is not a person. He's a TV character, and a funny one at that. So what's your super smart Democrat got to do? How about a penis joke?
This weird obsession with crowd sizes.
Yeah, it's going to be like that till November. One of the most important elections on the planet is going to come down to this. Can the Donald beat Kamala's vibe? Well, God save America and the rest of us. That's it for this episode. Be sure to follow us so you don't miss the next installment of The Big Q, where we will be asking, is Kota dead? Kota as in the legendary capital of exam prep, which has now become a ghost town. You can also grab a free 300 rupee subscription to Splainer's daily news edition. The link is in the description. I'll see you next time.
You have a notification. Notification.